anything goes off, we will ask you to take the bill. Thank you. So that's for online. Okay, there's no fire alarm planned, and your nearest fire exit is the usual exit for the library. We have got BSL interpreters. Anybody in the room require BSL? Anybody online require BSL? Okay, please let your host know if you require BSL online, and they'll point it out. But I'm sure you can see them on your cameras as well. So we have got the room team. I've got Chris here. My colleague Zach normally blame him for everything that goes wrong. So I'm taking it on from him. I've got CG here, who is the senior officer for Stratford. Then I've got Zach, Sadia, Sophie, Donna, who is our link worker as well, Robin, and Kulsuma. Have I left anybody out? Don't think so. And online we have got
Habs.
Oh, I'm really sorry, Habs. Habs is in the room as well. There's Miriam, Emily, and Lisa online, and our BSL interpreters. Okay. So what are the guidelines for today? Listen to each other and be respectful. On the tables when discussions happen, please give everybody a chance to speak. We want to hear from all of you, and we want as many ideas as possible. You don't have to agree because we all have different opinions, but please respect that. Share what comes to your minds. Please don't be shy. Enjoy being part of shaping your own community neighborhood. So I'm sure, how many people attended the last assembly? Oh, we have got a lot of new people, which is really good. So people who have attended before, they should be quite familiar with people, part, places. So it used to be called community assemblies. Some of you may be more familiar with that term. And we have given it people, part, places name because these are places. This is a program which is being powered by you, your involvement. Give new residents the chance to make positive change together in their local area. We are one of the largest participatory budgeting program in the country. So there are 8 community neighborhoods, including Stratford and West Ham, and each neighborhood has been allocated 200,000 funding to spend on local projects. And this is for the next 2 years. So anyone who lives, works, or learns in community neighborhood can participate in that. If you're running your projects in this area, you qualify for that as well. So where does this money come from? It comes from neighborhood community infrastructure levy, and it's a charge on new developments which help to fund the strategic and neighborhood infrastructure in new. So what is the criteria for project applications? Projects that help with the development and growth of this area, projects that improve our public spaces and infrastructure, and projects that improve the health and happiness in this area as well and this community. Okay, so there are kind of 6 phases on there. We've already been through phase 1, where everybody discussed their local priorities. And then today we are here to discuss solution to improve your area. So you came up with 3 priorities, and today we'll discuss how do we address those concerns, those challenges, and those priorities and make it a better neighborhood. And then step 3 is, which is open at the moment, all the project applications. So project leads, all residents will come up with project proposals to receive funding. Residents can apply up to £5,000. And if you're a voluntary community or faith sector group, you can apply up to £20,000. Following this, you will vote on your favorite project, which will happen towards the end of October, November. So successful projects are delivered by residents and local organizations with support from Newham Council. And then lastly, we'll celebrate our achievements. What I've just said, the 6 phases, those are being reflected in this cycle. And 20th June to 3rd of September, everybody, is the project application submission. So please note that date now. And in October, everybody will vote. In November 2023, we'll announce successful project. And then they deliver from January 2024 to January 2025. And then in between, we will have another assembly or event where you can come and you can find out the progress of it. Then in the January to March 2025, there will be an evaluation, and then May to June 2025 is celebration. It seems a long far away from that date, but trust me, it will come around really, really quickly. So please, if you want to find this information, it's on Neon Co-Create, the cycle, all the information I'm giving you. So we have got 3 wards in our neighborhood. One is Stratford, Stratford Olympic Park, and West Ham. Anybody here from Stratford Olympic Park? Okay, that's really good. Thank you for joining in. Stratford? Okay, and West Ham? That's really good. Thank you. If you want to find out or you're not sure which ward you're in, you can ask us or you can check online as well. So why are we here today? So we have got 3 main objectives of today's meeting. First one is generate ideas to address the local priorities, which have been chosen by our local residents, test ideas with experts, and turn ideas into project proposals that could be funded by people. So broad ideas to address the priorities, in other words, focused ideas that could be turned into projects, and then also ask the experts, are these feasible? Because you may need a permission, you may need extra funding, or your funding is not enough, so that we will be able to help you with that. Not every table has got an expert. If you think we can't answer your questions today, we'll certainly take it back to the services and come back to you. Okay, our local councillors. So Councillor Terry Paul, Councillor Sabia Kamali, and Councillor Joshua Garfield. There's Stratford. Stratford Olympic Park is Councillor Nate Higgins and Councillor Denny Keeling, and Councillor Dr. John Whitworth, Councillor Charlene McLean, and Councillor John Gray, they're West Ham. Any councillors in the room today? Haven't seen anyone. I know Councillor John Whitworth and Councillor Charlene McLean are online. May I ask them to introduce themselves and say a few words, please? Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Councillor.
Can you hear me? Well, good evening, everybody. I'm glad to see you, if only online, as I'm at home. But I think this is a very important day, actually, to get people thinking about fulfilling the 3 priorities. And really, we need each of the projects that are suggested needs, as you know, to address at least one of these. So I think that's behind our thinking, but all of them are there to enhance really the life in this community. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say, and you know, helping us to think about what we want to present to be chosen by the residents of the area. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Charlene McLean.
Brilliant, thank you, JT. So I'm wearing 2 hats this evening. So as well as being the councillor for West Ham Ward, I'm also the cabinet member for resident engagement and resident experience, which oversees this programme. And I'm really excited to hear the solutions that residents are going to come up with. Last time at the priority setting, it was very close, and there was really great discussions about how things sort of interlinked, and they sort of covered similar areas. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing the discussions online today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Mary, any other councillors online?
Can't see any more councillors online, Jyoti.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll get back to the slides in that case. Thank you. Okay, I may have Greg Gustad online, representing the CMT lead, who couldn't be here today. Greg, are you online?
I am. I'm online, yes. Hi, my name's Greg Gustad. I'm head of service for housing RMS, which is the repairs and maintenance service. I'm representing Donna Morelli, who's Assistant Director of Housing. Unfortunately, she's unwell today, so she's asked me to represent housing in her stead. So anybody with any housing issues, I've already taken one from Susie in the chat line. Please just come approach me. And I'm here to help.
Thank you. Okay, next we come to our working group members. If all the working group members please stand up. We have got 20 working group members, everyone. Can we have a round of applause for working? So the working group members are going to support with the conversations today, because they are residents as well. They may have a lot of ideas as well, and they will help the facilitators with the conversations and everything. But at the same time, these are the people who in future will score your applications. They will monitor your projects as well. They are volunteers from the community, please note that. So thank you to all of them. We may have some of them online as well. If you're online, will you please wave, please? Any? Okay, I've got Pratishta online. I've got Jaspier online. I have got Susie online. Anybody else? If I've missed, I do apologize. Thank you, everybody, for joining today.
Hi, you've got Stephen Lonsdale online. Sorry, my camera's not working for some reason.
Welcome, Stephen, and thank you for joining. Thank you very much. Okay, so these are the 3 priorities which were voted upon by the residents in our May meeting. So the first one is health and well-being. The second one is community safety. And the third one is environment and public spaces. So you're sitting on the right tables, I'm sure, and the concerns you want to address, you addressed, and today the ideas you want to give. So if you're not on the right table, this is your chance to actually move around. Okay, next please. So what is health and well-being? The key facts about health and well-being in Newham. So people in Newham have poorer health outcomes than the population overall. 17 out of 20 residents are moderately to completely satisfied with their life nowadays. Newham also has a worse health life expectancy than London and England for men and women both, and the number of years in which people are in good health. So what does this priority include? This is not the extensive list. It's improving health and social care, tackling health inequalities, responding to the cost of living crisis, life expectancy and aging well, loneliness, isolation, and mental health. So when you're discussing, please take this into account. You all have got information on the tables, and online our facilitators will share that for you. So through health and well-being, these are the projects which were delivered, which could be inspirational for everybody. So Dance for Wellbeing, which was delivered by a resident. Then Stratford Skate Hub, which is in Olympic Park. And the sessions are running at the moment. So if anybody wants to join those. Skating facility at Poole Street to give more variety of physical activities option to Newham resident, and facilitator space for local skaters for people of all generation and genders. And there are people in this room who have been to that facility, and you can wave. Generation East London. This was BSL storytelling for children, deaf awareness training, and self-defense classes for women. So these are the 3 projects. It's very, very small sample of what we are doing. And then around the world, Good Gym, organized runs, walks, cycles to help local community organizations and isolated. And a few Good Gyms have been in parks throughout Newham. Befriending, connecting people in the community to relieve isolation and loneliness, and Heart Movement Basket, which is a free accessible mobile community space for people to experience the benefits of mindfulness. And now community safety. So there has been a substantial drop in proportion of people feeling safe in Newham, with 13 in 20 residents feeling safe during the day, 3 in 10 feeling safe after dark, and 6 in 10 feeling safe in parks and open spaces. Nearly 1/5 of the residents feel unsafe on public transport. And then over 2/3 are now worried about being a victim of crime. So being worried about crime is strongly associated with both gender and also disability. So what does it include? It actually improving women's safety, tackling the roots of crime and antisocial behavior, also raising awareness around the hate crime and women's safety, building trust and accountability in community safety services, improving feeling of safety during the day and at night, and also in parks and open spaces. That's the aim. So these are the projects which have gone through in the last 2 assembly cycles. So what's the point, which is running in Stratford schools at the moment? This is about knife crime, which is maybe online, and he will give you some more information on that. Art in the park, and this is a creative poetry art project to reduce antisocial behavior in Stratford Park, and digital inclusion, which will start from September. And this is for vulnerable domestic abuse survivors. So all 3 are really, really good projects from our own area. So projects from around the world, we stand together project, bring together businesses and venues in Portsmouth. So if anybody has got any idea around that, so that is your inspirational project. Walking bus, that is keeping children safe by arranging walking bus to school with neighbors. And then hate crime community ambassadors, volunteer who raise awareness of hate crimes in the community, which could be a big issue. Okay. So environment and public spaces, what are the key facts? So air pollution in Newham is worse than anywhere else in London. Less than half of Newham residents have access to a car. The borough is a thorough route for commuter traffic. Newham has a relatively high median energy efficiency score at 75, and that is higher than anywhere in London or England average. Around 9 in 10 residents use Newham's Park at least once a year. So we need to promote it more. More residents need to come into our parks. So what should be addressed? Making neighborhoods quieter, safer and cleaner, and responding to climate emergency, which is affecting each and every one of us. Improved public spaces, including parks, community gardens, and green spaces. Cleaner environment, including reducing fly tipping and air pollution. So the main art, welcome to the Channel C, again, a project in Stratford. If you haven't visited that site, please go and visit this project. It's an amazing, you can volunteer as well. Greener Together, this is again, it was Stratford, it's Maryland now. So the residents came together to make their area greener, happier and healthier by creating more space for outdoor play. And the last one is Local Streets Anti-Fly Tipping Project, again a Stratford one, and a group of 84 households in Holbrook Road, Bull Road and Willis Road, Corporation Street, they took action to address fly tipping. So around the world, orchestra in park, Dulwich, and musical play equipment. So each and every project, you can be inspired from that. You can take ideas from that. If you need more information about Stratford projects, please let myself and CG know, and they can give. And everything is on Newham Co-Create if you want to find out more. Okay, so we have asked a couple of our previous project leads to inspire new ideas and also tell you about their projects, if they needed any permission, and what are the benefits of their project, how it has affected the local community or young people. So I just want to know on Rose and Rich both should be online. I have seen Rose, I haven't seen Rich yet. So Rose, if you go first, please, thank you.
Cool, thanks. So we helped the community to co-design a mural on the planters next to the old town hall. And it was such an incredible project. It really brought everybody together. We had like more than people in each of the workshops that we had. And it brought all the different groups of people together. So we had deaf roots, we had skills, which is adults with disabilities, and the wider community. And we had lots of working group members that joined us, and everybody really felt their well-being improve by being together, creating stuff together, being creative, and also improving the environment. So everyone keeps saying that they want all the planters to be done. So we've done one. So some of the things that we had to think about and was really important is actually getting permissions. So we had to make sure that we were allowed to do the mural on the planters and any requirements that they had. So those planters were bespoke planters, so they didn't want to have any screws in there. So we had to make sure that we had like wooden battens that we screwed into, so then the planters would stay safe and be lovely. So we had to make sure that we got the permission from Highways to do the to actually do the mural, but also we had to make sure that we got a license when we were installing it as well. So it's really important to think about all of these different elements when you're doing your projects. So whether you need permissions, who you're going to be getting involved with. So we had, before we started, we made sure that we had deaf roots on board that were one of the groups. We had skills group, and then we also made sure that we got all of the people from everywhere in Newham and around the library that they could join in on the workshops. So it's really important to get permissions from everybody, get everyone engaged before you're actually even doing the application. So there's actually quite a bit of work that I would suggest that you do before the application, and then get those all in place, and then you can get everybody that's in place to vote for you as well.
Thank you very much, Rose. Could we have a round of applause for Rose? It was an absolutely beautiful project. And if you want to, you can see it outside the town hall from around West Ham Lane. It's an amazing, amazing project. And Rose also had all the DBS checks and safeguarding, all that paperwork in. Amazing working with you. Thank you, Rose.
Yeah, and also on that note, we had insurances. So we got public liability insurance and employer insurance. So we had all of the different things that you need in place before we started.
Thank you very much, Rose.
Thanks.
Thank you. Miriam, have you got Rich online? You had an appointment. Oh, hi, you're there. Okay, over to you, Rich, please, for Faith in Schools.
Hi everyone. So we ran a knife crime project in several schools across Stratford and West Ham, primary and secondary. And the idea behind it is to target the children and young people that are carrying knives, essentially for self-defense and out of fear, working with a core group of 10 from each school over a number of weeks, and introducing them to members of the community who come in with us into the school and share their story. So we have people who are ex-gang members who have reformed, who will come in and do like an hour workshop with them. We have street doctors who teach emergency first aid skills, so basically how to save someone's life in response to a stab wound. We have the police come in and talk about what it's like as a first responder and what it's like as a human being having to sort of live with what you've seen as an emergency responder to a knife attack. And over a number of weeks, we basically worked with them to empower them to go on a journey and think about themselves, their own conclusions about solutions to knife crime. And essentially, it's a transformational experience where, again and again, we've seen a consistent theme that young people have a desire to take responsibility for each other. There's a sort of desire for the primary school kids going into secondary to really think carefully about the people that they hang out with. But also to sort of safeguard each other. If they know one of their friends is, carrying a knife, is sort of calling that out as behaviour that's unacceptable in their friendship groups. But also thinking about how they can safeguard themselves and their families and their communities by breaking down barriers. So knowing people in the community have been through the same thing. Some of the things to consider for our project is because it was entirely schools focused. For us, we're a schools work charity, and our natural connections were with schools. But some of the things for us to consider were, having a long-standing relationship with schools, so they know who you are, they know that you're professional, that you're a safe pair of hands. Obviously, safeguarding is paramount, And particularly when we're talking about knife crime, it's very easy for young people to almost draw negative attention by the fact they're participating in a knife crime project. That almost kind of labels them with the idea, well, you're talking about it, so that means you might be talking about people doing it. So yeah, just a few things to consider there is, DBS checks, making sure the schools have some form of relationship with you, making sure there's a member of staff present at all the times, and also obviously that anyone you're bringing in is DBS checked, yeah, those sort of exercises really. I'd say the benefit of it really is that it made young people feel that they're empowered to be able to do something about this, and also they have a shared responsibility. It's not the job of the police, it's not the job of parents, it's not the job of community leaders in schools. It's everybody's responsibility to try and combat knife crime and try and denormalise young people carrying knives on the streets. So yeah, best of luck with the projects. And all I would say is my big piece of advice is this started really by looking at what we had as assets, the relationships we had, the people we knew who had these stories, and the fact that we're already in schools already. So sometimes that's a good starting point, is to look at what you've got, what skills you have, what the contacts you have, and sort of jump from there. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Rich. Thank you for your time. And again, a really, really good project. You all worry about the safety of the young people. And a couple of schools actually requested if they could have more sessions. And the only thing I think that delayed it slightly was when schools giving permission for it, because they have got their curriculum, everything, other activities, and they needed to run alongside. Okay, activity 1. So we're coming to a really exciting part now, and this is where you all come in. So we're going to have 2 activities, and the first activity is for 10 minutes, and your table facilitators will explain it to you. So this will be what ideas, you've got 3 priorities, you're on a priority table, and online, everybody will be going into a breakout room. So you can, online, you can choose your breakout room. And then we want to know what ideas could help address the priority at your table. What do you think? What kind of projects do you need? So please come up with that idea. And if there are project leads, please listen to the residents first before you tell them what sort of ideas you want to run. If you don't want to share your complete project idea, please give them, and I think it's your time to ask questions, and so that you can refine it later on. So that'll be 10 minutes for you. Then second activity is scope your idea. So you may come up with 50 post-it notes on there. So out of those 50, can you come up with 4 ideas, which you will put on there or online? They have got Jamboard. You can put those in the Jamboard and think, okay, we have got 50 ideas. Can we turn those ideas into projects? So come with maybe 4 rough projects at the time, and please agree with that. Come with, again, tell them what can be done, why this idea is really, really good, what you want to do about it, and how the project leads can liaise with you. You can give them your names, addresses, if you want to go on your, not addresses, sorry, that's GDPR, but if you want to be on a WhatsApp group or anything, you can liaise with the project leads. Today, you may want to volunteer as well, and you may want to participate in that project. So that will be the second one. So these are the questions. Is this idea addressing one or more of the priorities? Is it innovative, or has it been done before? Is it a short-term or long-term idea? Really good to have long-term ideas, but if it's a short-term idea, really impactful, that'd be really good. And then, does this idea sound realistic? We may have a lot of ideas. We want to do a lot of things to make this community better. They may not be feasible. Can this idea be achieved with up to 20,000? Don't forget, residents can only apply for 5,000. And if you only have 5,000, can you deliver that? Or if you've got 20,000, can you deliver that? And can this be delivered in 1 year, between January 2024 to January 2025? So this is what we're going to do in the room to start with. Before I explain to people online, please choose somebody to feedback. There'll be 1 minute feedback at the end of 3 rounds. So before you start, select that person, don't forget it. So this is for in room. If we go to the next one, we'll come back to people in room. But activity 3, for online. So as a table, as a breakout room, choose 2 ideas. So out of 20, 30, 40 ideas you have got, or solutions you've got, you bring it down to 4, and then please finalize on 2, and please refine those ideas. And we will have experts on the table, like I said before, and there are a few online as well. I thank you them. And then you can ask them that what is it that would work, and what is it that we can change if it's not feasible. And you can write down your refined idea at the bottom of your template. But online, please add a lot of stuff to the Jamboards so that everybody can see. People who are in the room, we will be sending them an email, or we'll put everything on Omnium and Co-Create so they can liaise with that as well. So one thing, our experts don't know everything. If some of your questions can't be answered today, like I said earlier, we'll take them back and we'll get back to the project leads. So online, you're going into breakout rooms, and you will come back after activity 3. So over to you, please, online. Thank you. And in the room, we start with activity 1 and 2. So please keep an eye on the time, and then I'll disrupt you between activity 2 and 3. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy.
Okay, everyone, back online. So we're going to open the breakout groups now. So you will have a pop-up message that encourages you to join one of the priorities. So you've got health and well-being, community safety, or environment and public spaces. So make sure that you join the breakout group that you want, and then we'll meet you there. If you can't find how to join it, then you can pop something in the chat, and we'll assign you directly to the breakout group that you want. So if you haven't seen the pop-up message, just let us know in the chat or here, and then we'll assign you directly to the breakout group that you want. We've got 16 people still to join. So yeah, Jasbia, I can see a C. Does that mean community? Oh, health and well-being. So Jasbia, I put you in health and well-being. Stephen, why would you want to go? Health and well-being, community safety, or environment?
Safety, please.
Safety, yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then we've got Dawn, Judy, Susie. Where do you all want to go?
Well-being, please.
Health and well-being.
This is Dawn. Thanks.
That was Dawn. Okay, health and well-being for Dawn, and then Judy, health and well-being as well. Okay, and Susie, where did you want to go? I know you're torn apart with all these 3 priorities.
So okay, I'll do health and well-being, please.
Yeah, okay. If you do want to join part way through the session, change, just let your facilitator know, Mariam.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all right. And I've got someone called User. Not sure who you are. Do you want to be put in a breakout group as well? Yeah, I can do it.
I'm sure everybody's back. Thank you. Okay. So welcome back, everybody online. So I could see a lot of discussions going on in the room, and I'm sure you had a lot of ideas coming up online as well. So thank you, everyone. So what we'll do is we want to hear back from you, what the discussions were. How did it plan out? Did you get any projects out of your ideas? So let's start online first, Chris, if that's okay. We'll start with Lisa's room. So Lisa, over to you if you've got somebody to feed back, or if you're feeding back yourself, please. Thank you.
I'm going to just check if Stephen's online, because Stephen was having a bit of Wi-Fi connection issue. Stephen, are you there? No, the silence is ominous. Okay, there was just myself and Stephen Lonsdale from Chargeable Lane in community safety room. So it was a small but very select group. And Stephen's got a lot of knowledge because obviously he's worked with a lot of vulnerable people over the years. And in terms of an idea, which obviously neither of us could necessarily deliver because we're council, but in terms of what somebody else could deliver, he's got lovely ideas about a safeguarding app, which would be potentially to support a wider audience. So he's done it before with bus drivers and taxi drivers to understand safeguarding as a concept and to allow them to look for guidance, advice, support, and maybe contact numbers to just understand safeguarding as a concept locally. So I think it's quite simple, quite effective. So yeah, that was the community safety idea that we kind of worked up together. So I hope that sounds good.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Yes, sounds really good. Very, I think, and probably in future, very useful as well. It'll be useful now, but hopefully it will be developed into a project. Thank you. Next is Emily, please.
Thanks, Jyoti. Yeah, so our party was environment and public spaces. We had just one resident, but very productive resident, Lynn, with Councillor John Whitworth and Greg Gustard as well. So we had a great discussion about environment and public spaces, had lots of ideas, and then we dive deep into one very good idea, which is around how can we recycle batteries, electronics, clothes and things like that in a more local place where you can kind of like walk there instead of like needing to have a car to get to the recycling points. And then associated with that, it will be like repairing workshops like the ones that had been funded by People Power Places before in Forest Gate. So to have them in Stratford and West Ham so that we can give the opportunities for people residents locally to kind of like recycle, swap things, and then if they can't be like fixed as part of the repair shop, then they can be recycled on site. This is a brilliant idea that Lynn had, and I hope I've summarized it well. What Lynn really wanted to ask everyone is if someone really wants to put forward an application, because she really wants to see this project happen, but she doesn't have the time to apply for funding for project applications. So it'd be great for someone to kind of like go on and put forward some project applications to make this brilliant project happen.
Thank you very much, Emily, and a really useful idea. Our Let's Repair project was really, really successful, attended by up to 700 people. And we've got Laura in the room, one of our working group members, who could be the ambassador for that because she did the workshops as well. So it was absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Mariam, please. Is anybody feeding on your behalf? Or?
Yeah, I think was it Patricia, was it you going to feed back?
Yeah, thanks you so much. So we had really interesting discussions and everyone opened up their hearts and talked about different situations they have been going through or where they needed help or could help. So one of the amazing ideas that came about was how to encourage community-led projects in less privileged areas in Stratford. So that has been the Park Village Oasis. And yeah, looking forward to the application. So Susie spoke at length on that, and we spoke about the various activities that could go on in there as well.
Okay, thank you very much again. A really interesting, good idea. Can we have applause for everybody online, please? Thank you. And if you want us to get in touch with you, please leave your details with Mariam, Emily, or Lisa. They'll pass them on to me. Thank you. And now we will start with this room and we'll go to this table, Robin's table. Who is feeding back, please?
Wow, public speaking again. You can also stand. So I am Kevin and this is Vanessa and we are Future Ents and we operate in Stratford Library and we've actually been here around for about 10 months now and we do a one-to-one employment level up and this interlinks with community safety by helping young people and young adults find job opportunities, in terms of helping them write their CVs, interview skills, and really mentoring them as well, and really letting them see that they actually have a future, and they can have that future if they actually start school again, college again, university again. So showing them the value of education and kind of just really mentoring them to find themselves and actually become someone. And in terms of the next topic, which is called, I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called again, health and well-being. So that helps them to kind of have better mental health. So we mentor them as well. And that helps with things like anxiety, depression, and just really making them know that they can actually come through a lot of the hard times that they have in life. And that's why we are here to show them that we are here to help them. And we are also here to also guide them as well. And I'm not sure, was I supposed to mention something else as well? Nothing else?
I think your 1 minute is up, I'm afraid. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next table, please. Donna's table. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Linda. So we had a few really good ideas actually for health and well-being, and just one of them, just as an example, we talked about support for unpaid carers, maybe creating a forum where they can come together for peer support, maybe meeting in a cafe. Maybe it would be an opportunity for them to share information and guidance, and we thought that once we'd created the network for them to get together, the network would kind of run itself. So the carers would keep in touch with each other and would take it forward. And it was the sort of thing that we could start in a number of different locations. For carers can only get out for limited periods of time, so maybe they would just meet at 11 o'clock and go and have a coffee. And it would just be something once a week where they've got people that they can reach out to and establish some relationships outside their homes. And that was just one of the examples we came up with.
Thank you very much. And before I forget, if it's your project idea, please don't forget to give us your email address at the back of the spreadsheet and take a picture of it so you know what you've discussed in this room as well. Thank you. Next is Dan. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan. We were looking, it's fallen over, but I think it's environment and public spaces. We were talking about unloved areas, and I was talking particularly about a project on our estate, which is the Millmeads estate. There's an unloved area which is used as kind of an unofficial car park where litter's strewn and antisocial behaviour happens. So we're talking about regenerating that space, bringing it to life, turning it into maybe a community garden, maybe a little book share that we could put there. I love the idea of the musical instruments and whether there's a way of bringing outdoor musical instruments there. We talked about that, and we also talked about the Manor Road as well as places that aren't loved, but that we'd love to see kind of come to life and get residents engaged in that.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you. Sadia's table, please.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Shiva and I'm from St. John's Church, the church just there in the middle of the road. And here we talked today about serving the community. I think he will come in and he will say his little bit afterwards. And what we would like to do is to serve the community through food, through prayer, through listening, silent listening, mentoring. Also to give people Christmas dinner where the church is. There's so many homeless people outside, always begging, always wanting. The church is open there. We cook and we invite them in. If we have too much and they didn't come in, we take out and we say, here's a meal, here's something you can have. And during the time that we spend there together, we offer tea, coffee, biscuits. And we want to continue that. It's been quite hard to do it on a weekly basis because of funding. So we thought if we got some funding, we could expand this a bit more. We wanted to do it more in the churchyard, of course, in the summer. We want to do more in the churchyard with drums and music and bouncy castle and that sort of thing. So even we would like to be able to take the group to outings, to the seaside, so that people can mingle, get together more, because there's lots and lots of loneliness, lots of sad hearts. And so we want to just bring hearts together. We want to see people more united in the community. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shiva. We all understand that there's a lot of isolation, loneliness, and also homelessness is growing. So thank you.
So we came up with another idea. So my name is Shahid. I run an organization called Blossom. We run the Togetherness Cafe here in the library every Monday between 12 and 2. So the project we're looking at is a very beautiful word, a beautiful term called the food my mother used to make. And the idea really is that we get people from different communities all come together and we actually go out to where people are. So not necessarily the library, we would go to the churches, we would go to the places of worship, we would go to the gurdwaras and the mosques and talk to people and find out what was the food, what their experiences are, and make them have this sense of belonging where they can actually talk about things that they want to talk about. And it defeats loneliness, it brings people together, it's great for social cohesion. We've done these type of ideas before, but this is the first time we're actually talking about this type of project. And the idea really is that you've got different communities all coming together, you've got people speaking the different languages, and one of the things that we really want to do is we want to deliver this in multi-language for the whole of the community, bringing them together. Ideally, then we start collecting the recipes, making the recipes healthier. Ultimately, create a little book of all the recipes and the little stories of what people tell us, because that would be invaluable and that would create some great work in the local community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shahid. You've given everybody some great ideas for their projects as well. Thank you. Next table, please.
Passing the mic along.
Hi guys, my name's Arnold. We've had two ideas. We managed to go in deep with one. Starting off with patrolling, increasing patrolling in Stratford. So one of the things that we said was that there are officers, there are teams working in Stratford, they are patrolling already. The only thing, the problem is, it's a bit disjointed. So the team that was here earlier, Safer Neighbourhoods, I've seen them before. I've had meetings with them before. I'm part of the Stratford Detached Youth Team, and we're also patrolling. So we bring young youth to where young people are. So we're not centre-based, we're in the community. Thing is, we are visible to young people, but we might not be visible to you guys, for example. You might have never heard of a detached youth worker. And so it's a shame that they're doing essentially what we're doing, but with like the wider community, and we're doing what we're doing geared towards young people. And then you have the security team that's maybe in Stratford Centre and the other teams. Thing is, the idea is to create either a platform where it's a bit more coordinated, where information is shared, where the community is aware of what's available, because some people don't even know that these things are happening. So when there are safety issues in, say, estates, and some people just don't know who they should call. They might just ring the police every single time. So the idea is to, we spoke with Connor, who made some really good suggestions and said, actually, it costs about 60,000 to just recruit one officer. So, and we've only got 20K. So how do we streamline that idea, make it so that it becomes a reality? So the solution is, at the moment, is to create maybe either a platform where all of this information, intel is shared, one platform where, hey, are these faces familiar to you? Yeah, we've seen them in the park. And so, like where it's social, and also a place where the community can see what's going on and also share their input and their issues. And then we can all look at that and say, oh, do you want to send your team out on Monday? We'll go on Wednesday. So it becomes a bit more robust and coordinated and increase a sense of safety for everyone. Because it is a shame that I walk on my black shirt says youth work there, and I think the lady on our table saying, yeah, but I might be thinking that you're coming back from work, not knowing that you're actually at work trying to provide safety to young people. You understand? The community doesn't know that this is available, and it's very. I think one of the things that we're not very good at is informing people of what's available to them. Many people don't know that there's a youth center just across the road, but it's there, and it's a shame. We just need to improve how we communicate that to people. So that was the first idea.
Thank you. Next one, you've only got 30 seconds.
Oh, right. No pressure. All right. Okay. So the next idea is called "Let's Squash It Together." This is to increase the social-emotional development of the community as a whole. So one of the things that we saw in the definition for community safety is here somewhere. It says tackling the roots of, tackling the root of crime and social behavior. So looking at the roots. So almost like, what's the point? It's a series of workshops for schools that equips young people with the ability to manage their emotions, because before there were situations, there's usually conflict, right? So how do we equip young people to manage their emotions? How do we equip them to de-escalate situations before they arise? But it's not just that, it's also, someone pointed out in our table that actually it's also the parents, the job of the parents, the carers, the guardians, and the school to kind of prepare young people and equip them with the characters necessary to, for life. Okay. So the workshops, it won't be just geared at young people. It's workshops that equip young people with the skills, but also equips teachers with the same skills, and then parents, so that way we improve the well-being of the community, the people's skills and confidence to deal with situations. It's a 6-week program, and
I'm going to interrupt there because other two tables need
thank you.
their 1 minute as well. Thank you. Absolutely brilliant ideas, and thank you for sharing all the knowledge as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Habs, I'm the Volunteers Manager for Newham Council. We had quite a lengthy conversation about community safety. As you can imagine, very passionate conversations. I'm going to quickly whiz through 4 ideas, but keep it really quick. So the first idea was around women's safety, in particular around the evenings. So it's not just about having more police presence on site, it's also about self-defense classes, but not just self-defense classes, but raising awareness about your surroundings. So maybe a project around that, raising awareness about your surroundings. The second thing that we spoke about was Stratford Park and the feeling of antisocial behavior, young people and older people feeling unsafe, especially going there by themselves. So again, it's about more activities to fill up the park to make it safer, but also using that police presence there in joint activity. So the team here was mentioning historically they've had activities with young people, football using Muga. Could we do a project there that joins up with the police, the young people, but as well as that, the voluntary community and faith sector, and get some of your faith organizations together? So that's the second one. The third one was around street lighting, in particular alleyways and council buildings. Again, people feeling unsafe, especially when it gets dark. There was conversations about motion sensors, solar panels. Can these be implemented? The solar panels, impact the environmental theme as well because it's renewable energy and so on. But it's about making sure that those people who live in those particular buildings have to go through an alleyway, feel safe, and light comes up. And the main one that we spoke about, and this was the big one, was around Stratford Mall, the Broadway, the High Street, and St. John's Church, and in particular, the Deliveroo and delivery cyclists and vehicles. They are taking over the pathways, the footpaths. It makes it unsafe for vulnerable people, elderly people, young children, mothers with pushchairs, and those who got mobility issues. What can be done? So speaking to the team here, we was talking about the CCTV vans to use the AMPR, maybe use camera guns, more police presence, and also potentially revert back to some fixed penalty parking fines as well. The key thing here is it feels as though our public pathways are overtaken by vehicles and cycles and delivery people, and it's taken away from the actual residents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Habs. Your large idea, I think that's service one. We have got 2 community officers, safety officers here. I'm sure they've taken it on board. Thank you.
Sorry, Joyce. So we've got 2 projects. I'll be very quick. So the first one we've got is called Arts and Crafts for Everyone. So basically it's to offer creative candle making, soap making, flower arranging, jewellery making for all. And the venue will be Stratford Library, hopefully be free. And it's and it's basically targeting mental health well-being to improve mental health, socializing, so decreasing isolation, and also get the residents to learn a skill that they can pass on and teach other people as well. So that's the idea of the project. And Zoe's going to do the next.
Sure, that's fine, thank you. People Palace didn't get a mention. Hello, my name is Zoe Flynn. I'm from a small organisation called Frames of Mind, which is based just up the road. And we've been running a sort of a creative and holistic approach to digital inclusion program here in Stratford Library. Teaching people how to master their mobile, so it's smart technology, practical uses so that they can connect with others, connect with their friends, connect with their families, not miss out on best value deals and not become basically marginalized. Creative activities promote well-being, have fun, learn something new, and also the holistic approach is a sort of physical. We do Bollywood dancing at the end of all that, sitting down and using technology, and we go out on sort of inspiring creative trips, photography trips, and we want to carry on doing that. It's made had this professionally evaluated by PhD students, UCL, and it's made a huge difference to a lot of people. Basically, we know that only 1 in 5 people go to their GP for a clinical issue. Mostly people are depressed, have anxiety, or are socially isolated, and our sort of holistic approach aims to sort of reverse that, and so we're desperate to sort of carry on and try and extend that. What we also want to do is train people in our group to go out into the community to train up others, so that it's not just a small group that are benefiting, and they'll be our kind of Frames of Mind vigilantes. Okay, so that's the idea.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Yeah, the idea has been really popular because they have worked with a lot of people with dementia, Alzheimer's, reduced isolation, and we had up 40 to 50 people meeting here. So it's 7:59, guys. Definitely 1 minute before we move on.
I've got to speak for them. Yeah, good evening all. I do run a carers community mental health group with few carers, but today I'm going to talk about environment and public spaces. On my road, I've got 4 spaces and they're full of rubbish. So instead of having rubbish, I'd rather have some flowers for our well-being and improvement. I must admit it is awful. I do walk around with my children and we actually get bags and pick them up out of the 4 spaces that we got. We also got painting, and the idea is to paint, put it around Stratford area to make the place look a little bit more better and brighter. And we also got another idea in Western Park to plant more flowers. Was it flowers? Yeah, plant more edge. Yeah, more edges in Western Park, and we'll do it with the children and the community in the area to make the place look a bit much better. So I've got to talk fast now. We did have to come up with a lot of things because time is of the essence. We can't cover them all. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. That was absolutely brilliant. So many ideas. Please put them in the project applications. That'd be brilliant for us. Okay, so I'm going to be briefly, I'm going to tell you that applications are actually now open in case you weren't aware. They started on 20th of June and they go until 3rd of September. Just a little word of advice, don't leave it until 2nd of September. Start putting your project applications forward now. So in case you need any permissions or your project needs to change in any shape, form or scope, we can guide you on that one. We'll be looking through your application. So please start submitting them. And speak to your community neighborhood team. That is us, myself and CG, if you have any trouble. And also on I think on all the tables, CG has put some applications as well. There is cost catalog as well, in case you want to know, it's a public space, how much is it going to cost? And I think this table, they've done brilliantly. Shay's on that table from Highways, so she hopefully has guided them as well. And also one other word of advice, please read through the guidelines when you're filling in your application form. Look at what is required. There's a lot of paperwork may be required as well, depending on your project. It could be DBS check, it could be safeguarding, insurance for definite. So please look at everything before you put in an application so you're not disappointed. So, okay, we'll move on from there. If you anything, just scan the paper on your table and you can find all the information. So in case you need support, especially the residents, there is a sport clinic running on Thursday, the 13th of July, and it is all on Neum Corporate. You can go on there, you can register for it, and also there's information on tables as well. It's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's an online information. So the next one is how to cost your project, which I think stresses everybody so much. So the team has done a special support clinic for that on the 20th of July, which will be 6 to 7:30 p.m. and consultation. We may say, what consultation did you carry out? Because a lot of ideas coming forward that this is required in the park or this is on a road. Have you actually spoken to your neighbors? Have you actually spoken to the local community? How did the idea come about? And how much support you have got for that idea? In case you put a mural up and then people say, well, I didn't know anything about it. This is on my road. So please, if you need advice on that, it's on Monday, 24th of July, and again, 6 to 7:30 p.m. So how to submit application for VCFS? The sport clinic was held on Tuesday, the 27th of June. In case you want to watch, there's a YouTube video. So please go on Neum Corporate. It's on there as well. And so please join in the rest of the clinics. And in case you can't, I think I'll advise everybody to join those clinics. But in case you can't, then your community neighborhood sport clinic will help you. You can meet the senior officer or myself every Monday from 12 to 2 p.m., which is at Stratford Library. You come here. If you want to meet us on Tuesday, 4 to 5 p.m., which is online, it will be by appointment only. So, and also you can speak to a member of staff at Stratford Library to make an appointment, or you can email us. Our email address is on there. Our whole team is aware of this, so you can speak to them at any time. Thank you. Okay, before I conclude, we run these events. We really want to know, what do you think has gone really well, what we can improve on. You can send that feedback, but for now, please scan the barcode on your tables. And if anybody needs a paper copy, we will give that to you as well. Please, before you go, we need your feedback, so please do that. And I thank you all for coming today, giving us your ideas, giving us your time. I always ask everybody to spread the word about these events so more people come and join in. So please help us to do that. Thank you, the working group members, all the residents, our councillors, and my colleagues, and all the experts. Thank you, everybody, and have a good evening. Thank you.